When it comes to live entertainment, you are never 100% in control. No matter how many hours someone plans or rehearses a show, anything can happen up on that stage. And in an era now when fans are recording your every move to share on social media, one wrong step can forever live in infamy.
Out of town, y'all. God damn!
From concerts so embarrassing that the only explanation is that they were cursed, to then performances which some believe actually were, like this one by Lil Uzi Vert, back when he said this to his sold-out crowd.
Hold on, let me explain something real quick. Like I told y'all earlier, you motherfuckers have entered the rapture. And if ain't nobody flying up to heaven right now, obviously all y'all on to hell, right with me. Oh, you already here. I'm so sorry. You can't get out. You're stuck. It's over.
Every once in a while, a concert takes an unexpected turn for the worse. However, as we're about to see, the warning signs are always there from the beginning. Back in 2020, Rod Wave was scheduled to headline a show called Girl of My Nightmares at Morris Brown College in Atlanta. But, combined with what looks to be just some makeshift stage built in the middle of a basketball gym, as Rod Wave, who no offense, definitely isn't the lightest rapper on this scale, immediately, as soon as he greets the crowd though next to his entire entourage, the show quickly turns into an actual nightmare. Literally causing this huge hole to break in the middle of the stage. LMAO, the jokes write themselves. The top comment reads, "You can't make this shit up." Going viral and becoming the laughingstock on the internet for the week. Pimp down, I repeat, pimp down, Rod Wave commented after the incident. But what actually caused his stage to collapse? Although many would credit Rod's fall to the age of the Morris Brown College and simple lack of funding into the show's production, yet, in my opinion, the biggest factor here was simply his deep crew all standing in the same exact spot on this little stage. Like, at least 20 grown adults all took this gymnasium stage at once. However, if you ask Rod Wave himself though, Rod believes the situation was much deeper.
I be like, damn, bro, that shit crazy. Like, that be really crazy. That shit never happened to me before, bro. I done been in a, dog, I done been, like, coming up, I done been in some places, like, hole in the wall, dog. That shit never happened. I kind of felt like that shit was sabotage, you know what I'm saying? That's why I really had to, you know what I'm saying? When they move afterwards, because it's like, bro, that shit was done up sabotage, done up, bro.
Oh, you think somebody did that on purpose?
Had to be, bro. Like, I done been in the worst places, bro. I done been in a hole in the walls, bro. Like, coming up, like, doing this shit, I done been away. That was a school, bro. Like, somebody really, I ain't tripping about that shit, though.
How many people you had on stage with you?
Yeah, we was a little deep, though, I ain't gonna lie.
So it could have been your fault.
It could have been, though, bro, but damn, I'm falling through the stage.
Yeah.
Bro.
Claiming that someone behind the scenes might have set him up to break the stage and become a massive meme. While to me, this just sounds like an excuse after getting embarrassed. Thankfully, no injuries were reported following this accident. However, that wasn't the case though for Post Malone. While performing in front of a sold-out crowd at his St. Louis tour stop in 2022, Post Malone was so locked in on putting on a great show that he totally failed to see this trap door right in the middle of the stage. Grimacing in pain after smashing his ribs in front of thousands, while his hit song Circles continued to blast over the speakers. After seeing this viral clip, you might be wondering, why was there even a hole on stage in the first place? Like, wouldn't it be smart to not put a big hole there? Well, as Post himself explained, after getting released out of the hospital.
Hey St. Louis, love you guys so much. Thank you for the patience. Thank you for putting up with my dumb ass. There was a big, whenever we do the acoustic part of the show, guitars on the guitar stand and it goes down. There's this big ass hole, so I go around there and I turn the corner and bust my ass. Got me pretty good, and they gave me some pain meds and everything, so we can keep kicking ass on the tour. I just want to apologize.
Thank you everyone for all your well wishes, his manager shared on Instagram. Post Malone didn't break 3 ribs last night, thank God. We did x-rays at the hospital and they declared he had instead bruised his ribs. Learning his lesson to be more careful, Post Malone would still go on to finish out the rest of his 2022 tour. However, that wasn't the same result for this 47-year-old rapper right here, who was forced to end his performance after this happened.
This is serious. I don't think you can play the next track, you know? This is like the ambulance is coming.
Bro was cursed from the start for wearing those pants. One user jokes in the comments. Universe did us a favor by ending this show. With an audience of only a few people watching, this embarrassing clip also brings back flashbacks to another concert that went viral these past few years for all of the wrong reasons. Despite former SoundCloud standout Smoke Perp currently sitting at 3.5 million followers on Instagram, which, by the way guys, if you want to follow me over there too, and stay up to date on when my videos are posting, I'd really appreciate that. But as a sign of just how fast the music industry moves, when Smoke Perp then went on to host a concert right here in 2022, how many people actually showed up? As we can see, only about 6 or 7. Going on to get clowned all over social media for performing to an audience that, quote, couldn't even pack out a high school bathroom. The truth is, this was another concert cursed from the start.
But this is definitely a little embarrassing, fam. And this is crazy, bro. Because, wow, what a difference, like, what, 4 years makes?
Combined with essentially zero promo for this tour, a problem that I've already dug into deeper in a previous video. Yet, while lack of ticket sales is in large part the booking manager and promoter's fault rather than solely the artists, we do still have to give Smoke Perp credit for continuing to play this show, regardless of how many fans showed up. There was a show that was pretty empty that I didn't have to do. But I'ma give my fans a show, always, he typed. I wouldn't be here without them. Like I said, as easy as it is to laugh, it honestly took some guts for him to still go out there and perform, with possibly more people on stage than in the crowd. However, to continue the trend of rappers falling on stage though, it was the total opposite size of crowd and attendance when Travis Scott took his viral tumble. Prior to hosting his Astroworld Festival, which we're about to learn some believe was actually cursed, it was instead at the sold-out O2 Arena back in 2017, when, after popping out and surprising fans on Drake's tour stop in London, almost like Post Malone, Travis Scott met a very similar fate. Falling down and screaming in autotune at the same time his track Goosebumps plays in the background. It wasn't long after this clip went viral when Travis was asked about what happened on stage. I didn't fall, dude, I flew, he answered in classic Travis Scott fashion. I was floating. I didn't fall. I just flew, man. I'm a magician like David Blaine. I could never fall. Unlike Post Malone and his bruised ribs, Travis suffered no injuries and got right back up. But yet, as bad as all of these falls and botched performances have been that we just covered, none of them compared to what went down in 2021. A massive music festival that, conspiracy theorists believe, was cursed in more ways than one.
Like, it felt like we was in a concert in hell. You couldn't breathe, you couldn't see, like, just imagine all the people they're gonna find tonight who was in that crowd, who nobody could see, who nobody could hear.
November 5th, 2021 began as a celebration for Houston's thriving music scene, before turning into one of the most tragic live events in modern history. Hosted by superstar Travis Scott at the local Energy Park, the Astroworld Festival had been a yearly event named after his chart-topping album.
Travis will bring back Astroworld.
Following 2 successful years of the festival, this one in 2021 was scheduled to be over a 2-day weekend, marking a first for the festival. However, unfortunately, the second day would never happen. Managed by Live Nation and streamed via Apple Music, despite initially trying to limit attendance to 50,000 people, as fans trampled onto the festival grounds though and broke through the gates without tickets, this led to a super overcrowded crowd and exceeded capacity.
After I checked in with CSC and as we walked the perimeter, I just knew that we were definitely understaffed in every sense of the word. There was probably one security guard from what I saw. I would say there was probably one security guard for every 500 to 1,000 people, severely understaffed.
Thus, almost instantly after Travis Scott began his headlining performance at 9 o'clock sharp on the main stage, 911 calls started flooding in.
It's like folks are coming out of the crowd complaining of difficulty breathing, of crushing neck injuries. Seems like the crowd is compressing, from what I could tell.
According to a video analysis by NBC News, by 9:12 p.m., people in the crowd could be heard screaming for help. At 10:11 p.m., Travis Scott finishes his set and the concert ends, more than 30 minutes after a mass casualty event was declared. 8 people in the crowd died that night, their ages ranging from 14 to 27.
In what turned out to be such a tragic evening, a total of 8 people were pronounced dead the night of the incident, with sadly another 2 a few days later, due to a fatal crowd surge that sounded like it was straight out of a horror movie. People literally couldn't breathe, then passed out with nowhere to move. However, as Travis Scott himself then went on to share this black and white video offering his condolences, internet conspiracists meanwhile got right to work. This was a sacrifice and a ritual, reads this comment on TikTok, which represents the most popular theory here by many users. People need to wake up.
This is where, for the first time, I actually do have a bad feeling. That even then, when I was, feeling like everything was good, I didn't feel good about this because the statue was really creepy. Now, what did I tell y'all earlier? I don't judge art just because it's weird to me, but I will never forget how creeped out I was by that statue because his hands were like turning, like they were turning into like a creature's hand, and his face was just like, he's like gnashing his teeth, and it's like he's trying to rip out of something. It's like something is hurting him and he's trying to rip out of it. And I remember looking at that statue and thinking, what the hell is going on? Like, what the hell is going on here? What is this?
Conspiracies started flying in around the Astroworld Festival actually being cursed. In addition to the phrase Astroworld Sacrifice trending online, to start, users point to the overall imagery of Travis Scott in this entire show. From theories about the shirt that he was wearing, showing people walking through a door and then turning red, or comments about how the giant skull at the festival's entrance was some sort of portal, as well as again the overall set design of the stage, heavily incorporating fire and flames throughout the night. But then to add to it, we also can't forget this eerie video that went viral, as we can see Travis high above the crowd, continuing to sing while an unconscious body gets carried out. As you'd expect, this clip has only fueled these theories further. But according to Travis Scott though, and his side of the story, Travis claims that he had no idea what was happening in the crowd.
And the fire department declared it a mass casualty event, but the concert continued for another 40 minutes. Was there ever any communication to you on stage that you should end this?
Well, yeah, I mean, they just told me right after, the guests get off stage, we're going to end the show, and that's what we did. Other than that, there was no other communication. It was just, that's what came through my ears,
Oh, so they didn't say stop now?
No.
Gotcha.
No.
Wow.
Regardless of whether or not you believe Travis, and if you think dark forces were actually in play here, there's no arguing this concert was a tragedy. A tragedy that, with proper planning and security, should have been avoided. But when it comes to Lil Uzi Vert though, there's no denying how Uzi felt during this infamous show in 2018. Now, rappers using images that can be seen as quote-unquote demonic is nothing new, and has been going on for decades, in large part simply because it always gets people talking, but despite artists like Yeet, for example, who has shown images like this behind him on stage, or Playboi Carti during his King Vamp tour. But it was 7 years ago though, during the annual Wireless Festival in London, where Playboi Carti's close friend, Lil Uzi Vert, took things to a whole nother level, saying this on stage to his sold-out crowd.
Hold on, let me explain something to them real quick. Before everybody starts screaming and saying, like I told y'all earlier, you motherfuckers have entered the rapture. And if ain't nobody flying up to heaven right now, obviously all y'all motherfuckers going to hell, right with me. So, let's get it. Oh, you already here. I'm so sorry. You can't get out. You're stuck. It's over. You heard the song a million times and you didn't even know.
Telling fans that they're all following him into the underworld and it's too late, right before playing his 14-time platinum hit XO Tour Life, as another artist who is no stranger to leaning into this controversial imagery, and even titled a song This on his debut album. Again, this performance by Lil Uzi Vert made headlines with a lot of backlash. However, following years of rumors and continued speculation surrounding Uzi and his personal beliefs, Uzi would later say this on Instagram Live.
They say Uzi find God. Okay, what make you think I don't believe in a higher being just because of what I talk or how I talk, how I look, how I walk, how I react to stuff? That don't mean nothing. Don't ever say nothing. If I didn't believe, listen, let me tell you something. I know when I do wrong. Them ladies I was talking about, my grandma and my mom, they call me when I do wrong. They ain't called me this whole time because they know for real, bro. So they ain't really tripping on nothing because they know me for real. I know how I was raised. You talking about a fine guy? Come on, man. You don't even know me.
As I mentioned, rappers leaning into dark imagery is nothing new and stirs up conversation every time. However, what if I told you that maybe it's not even the artists who bring in the spirits, but rather the venue itself? Tucked inside the heart of Chicago next to the river sits what is often said to be the most haunted music venue in the world. On the surface, Chicago's House of Blues seems like a great place to catch a show, and has hosted so much legendary talent over the decades. But if you dig a little deeper though, or ask around with some of the locals, they will tell you that this place isn't just historic, but also extremely haunted.
That's open. Hey guys, did you hear somebody run by?
Nah, did y'all?
No.
I didn't hear about it.
Nope. It must be the ghost.
If there was a ghost, I would have seen it by now. I've been here for 174 years.
Now, TikTok skits aside, this building actually has a chilling dark history. Prior to the House of Blues opening as a concert venue back in 1996, located at the bottom of Chicago's iconic Corn Cob Towers, as you can see here. But during construction of these buildings though, back in 1961, not only were 3 workers killed when a scaffold plummeted to its fate a full 43 stories, followed by another death a year later when a worker got dizzy and fell. However, while you may be thinking that its past already seems bad, accidents at this building's construction sites were then joined by a long string of dark passings over the next 10 years, from multiple self-deletes taking place, a retired government worker who decided to end his 88-year-old mother and then himself, before then possibly, worst of all, a 25-year-old named Gloria Kirkpatrick who had been working as the manager of the Marina City Theater, which was the old movie theater in the same building that the House of Blues now occupies. But one night, Gloria was hauntingly stabbed multiple times until her end, with the suspect managing to get away.
Chicago House of Blues. The building that currently hosts the House of Blues was originally part of the Marina City Complex and home to the Marina Cinema. The theater was the site of a blood-curdling crime in 1972 when its manager Gloria Kirkpatrick was stabbed multiple times by an unseen assailant. So it's possible that her spirit resides somewhere in the Marina City Complex where she spent her final days. Whoa, 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 watch out for that.
Considering the layers of dark history behind the Chicago's House of Blues, it makes sense why many claim this venue is haunted. Which, if you ask most of the employees who work there every day, even they will agree.
Yes, there's absolutely ghosts in the building. I've experienced some myself.
I believe this place is haunted. There's ghosts roaming around right now as we speak, so watch out.
There are absolutely ghosts in this building.
As the spooky story goes, a little ghostly girl is now said to roam around the venue at different times, with one witness story claiming that a little boy spotted her playing with toys. It's up to you to decide if these haunted theories sound like made-up stories. But again, the site's deadly history definitely does cast a big shadow of speculation. At the end of the day, whether you believe in these so-called curses or not, one thing is absolutely certain. Each of these viral performances will be remembered forever. However, just not for any reasons that the artists want.